Have you ever felt trapped in a body that wouldn't listen? A body that seemed to defy every treatment, every diagnosis? Imagine waking up each day, carrying the weight of a mystery you couldn't solve until one extraordinary force entered your life and rewrote your story. What if I told you the greatest healing force isn't a pill, a procedure, or even a diagnosis, but something within you, something that can ripple through your entire being and change everything? The power of love is not just an abstract concept. It is a transformative energy that vibrates through the very fabric of our existence. Love in its purest form is the highest frequency we can experience, one that has the potential to transcend physical limitations and rewrite the stories embedded in our biology. It's a force so profound that it can soften even the hardest of hearts, dissolve the deepest pain, and illuminate paths once hidden in the shadows of despair. When we tap into the energy of love, we access more than just an emotion. We access a state of being that resonates with the universe itself. It's as if every cell in the body awakens to the harmony of this frequency, aligning with a blueprint that is encoded with health, vitality, and wholeness. The power of love has been shown to strengthen the immune system, calm the nervous system, and shift the body out of survival mode and into growth and repair. Love connects us to a field of infinite possibilities, where the boundaries of what we thought were unchangeable begin to dissolve. It creates coherence, a beautiful, synchronized rhythm between the heart and brain that allows us to access a higher state of awareness, one that empowers us to perceive our circumstances and even ourselves in a completely new way. The term mystery illness evokes a sense of deep frustration and helplessness, a condition that seems to evade even the most advanced diagnostic tools and treatments. For her, it wasn't just about the symptoms, though they were relentless, unpredictable, and often debilitating. It was about the absence of answers. She went from doctor to doctor, from test to test, and yet every scan, every lab result returned with the same unsettling response: we can't find anything wrong. This illness wasn't just a physical burden, it was an emotional and mental labyrinth. Imagine living in a body that felt like it was betraying you, yet no one could tell you why. The pain, the fatigue, the disorientation. It wasn't just invisible to the outside world, it was inexplicable even to her. She began to question everything. Was this all in her head? Was her body failing her without reason? Or was there something deeper, something hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered? And yet, what made it a mystery wasn't just its resistance to conventional treatments. It was its ability to shift and morph, to show up differently from day to day, as if it had a life of its own. It was as though her body was speaking a language she didn't yet understand, trying to convey a message that no one had taught her how to interpret. Emotional blockages are often the unseen forces that quietly shape our lives, influencing everything from our thoughts and behaviors to the very state of our health. These blockages are the result of unresolved emotions, grief that was never processed, anger that was suppressed, fears that were buried deep within. Over time, these emotions don't just linger in the mind, they embed themselves into the body, becoming stored in tissues, cells, and even the subconscious mind. For her, these blockages were like invisible barriers, preventing the free flow of energy and vitality within her system. She wasn't just carrying the weight of her symptoms, she was also carrying the weight of experiences she hadn't fully confronted. Memories of past hurts, feelings of inadequacy, and unspoken words created a web of tension within her, as if her body was in a constant state of holding on. Science has shown us that emotions are not just fleeting sensations. They are biochemical reactions that ripple through the body, influencing our hormones, immune system, and neural pathways. When emotions are suppressed or ignored, they don't simply disappear. They fester, creating energetic disruptions that can manifest as physical ailments. It's as if the body becomes a reflection of the unresolved inner world, a mirror showing us where healing is needed most. For her, these emotional blockages weren't just theoretical, they were palpable. They showed up as a tightness in her chest, a heaviness in her shoulders, and a feeling of being stuck, both physically and emotionally. She began to realize that her illness wasn't just about what was happening to her body. It was a message, a signal pointing to deeper wounds that needed attention. The mind-body connection is one of the most profound relationships we experience, a dynamic interplay where thoughts, emotions, and beliefs shape the physical state of the body. At the core of this connection lies the understanding that the mind is not confined to the brain. It extends into every cell, communicating through an intricate network of chemical signals, electrical impulses, and energetic patterns. What we think and feel creates measurable changes in the body, influencing everything from our immune system to our genetic expression. For her, this connection became both a puzzle and a revelation. She began to notice how her physical symptoms seemed to intensify during moments of stress, fear, or hopelessness, as though her body was mirroring the turbulence within her mind. It was a reminder that the body listens closely to the stories we tell ourselves about who we are, what we're capable of, and whether or not we believe healing is possible. The science of this connection reveals how powerful it truly is. When we experience negative emotions like anxiety or resentment, the body releases stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals, in small doses, can help us respond to immediate threats, but when they're sustained, they disrupt the delicate balance needed for healing and repair. Conversely, when we cultivate positive emotions like gratitude, joy, and love, the body shifts into a state of coherence, where systems work in harmony to restore balance and promote vitality. Her journey into understanding the mind-body connection also meant confronting the subconscious patterns and beliefs that had shaped her life. She began to see how past experiences, fears, and even societal conditioning had created an internal dialogue that wasn't serving her. This dialogue wasn't just influencing her thoughts, it was creating a feedback loop that affected how her body functioned, how it healed, and how it responded to the environment around it. Unconditional love is one of the most transformative forces in the universe, a state of being that transcends judgment, expectation, and limitation. It is the purest expression of acceptance, a vibration that resonates at the highest frequencies and has the power to dissolve barriers that no other force can. Unlike conditional love, which often comes with strings attached or expectations to be met, unconditional love simply is. It requires no justification, no reasoning. It exists because it is the very essence of life itself. For her, unconditional love became a catalyst for profound change. It wasn't just about receiving love from others. It was about learning to offer that same love to herself. She began to understand that her worth wasn't tied to her achievements, her health, or the way others perceived her. Instead, it was an intrinsic part of who she was, a birthright she had always carried but had forgotten to embrace. As she opened herself to this energy, something extraordinary began to happen. Her body, which had felt like an unyielding fortress of pain and dysfunction, began to soften. The resistance she had carried toward her illness, her past, even herself, started to dissolve. Unconditional love created a space within her that was free from fear, a space where healing could finally take root. It was like finally being reunited with your loved one. A space where healing could finally take root. In the presence of unconditional love, she found herself letting go of the stories that had kept her stuck. She released the guilt, the shame, and the resentment that had taken up residence in her heart, replacing them with compassion and understanding. This shift wasn't just emotional, it was physiological. Her body began responding to this new energy, aligning itself with the frequency of love, and stepping into a state of renewal and balance. Breaking old patterns is one of the most challenging yet empowering steps in any healing journey. Our lives are shaped by the habits, beliefs, and behaviors we have carried for years, some consciously, others unconsciously. These patterns become the lens through which we view the world, and over time they influence every decision we make, every interaction we have, and even the state of our health. For her, the journey to healing required a deep and often uncomfortable process of unraveling these long-held patterns. She realized that the way she had been thinking, reacting, and living had played a significant role in maintaining the illness in her body. Her thoughts of fear, inadequacy, and self-doubt had created an environment in her body that was less than conducive to healing. She had to face the fact that many of these patterns were not truly her own. They had been learned from her family, society, and past experiences, and had become deeply ingrained in her subconscious mind. Breaking these old patterns meant stepping outside of her comfort zone and challenging everything she thought she knew about herself. It meant confronting the beliefs that had held her in a state of limitation, whether it was the idea that she wasn't worthy of perfect health or that the pain she experienced was somehow her burden to bear. She began to recognize the ways in which these limiting beliefs had shaped her responses to stress, her relationship with her body, and her capacity for self-love. To truly break free, she had to create new neural pathways in her brain, pathways that would support a new way of thinking, being, and healing. This required consistent effort, a daily commitment to thinking differently, to acting differently, and to feeling differently. She had to learn to let go of old fears and doubts and replace them with thoughts of possibility and empowerment. Every time she shifted her mindset, her body responded by releasing tension, rebalancing itself, and creating a more harmonious internal environment. Heart-brain coherence is the alignment of the heart and brain, creating a harmonious flow of energy and information between these two vital organs. This state of coherence is more than just a feeling of balance. It's a physiological and neurological phenomenon that affects every aspect of our health. When the heart and brain are in sync, the body enters a state of flow, where the systems work together in a coordinated effort to promote well-being, healing, and vitality. For her, achieving heart-brain coherence was a pivotal part of her healing journey. She had spent so much time in a state of inner conflict, her mind constantly filled with worries, doubts, and fears, while her heart carried the weight of unresolved emotions and unspoken pain. These opposing forces created chaos within her body, contributing to the illness that had overtaken her life. Heart-brain coherence is more than just a theoretical concept. It has been scientifically validated. Research has shown that when the heart and brain are in a state of coherence, the body produces powerful biochemical and energetic responses that optimize health. This includes the release of feel-good hormones like oxytocin, which fosters connection, healing, and relaxation, and the reduction of stress hormones such as cortisol, which contribute to inflammation and disease. For her, reaching this state of coherence required learning how to quiet the noise of the mind and tune into the wisdom of the heart. She began to practice techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, and focused attention on the heart, cultivating a sense of love, gratitude, and acceptance. By doing so, she could shift her brain from a state of constant worry and fear into a more balanced state of presence and peace. This shift was not only emotional, it was deeply physical. As her heart and brain came into alignment, her body began to respond. The tension in her muscles began to release. Her breath became slower and deeper, and her overall sense of well-being improved. Self-healing practices are not just about seeking external solutions to internal problems. They are about recognizing that the power to heal resides within us. These practices create the space for individuals to reconnect with their innate ability to restore balance and health. The key is understanding that healing is not a passive experience, but an active, ongoing process that requires dedication, presence, and intention. For her, the journey of self-healing began with a commitment to taking responsibility for her own well-being. She stopped waiting for a miracle cure or a magic pill and instead turned inward, recognizing that the first step toward healing was to nurture herself in every way possible. This meant learning to listen to her body, to tune into the signals it was sending, and to honor its needs without judgment. She began incorporating daily practices that supported both her physical and emotional health. Meditation became a cornerstone of her routine, allowing her to quiet the noise of the world and connect with her inner self. Through meditation, she learned how to release the emotional baggage she had been carrying, letting go of past traumas and allowing herself to experience deep peace. This practice also helped her break free from the repetitive thought patterns that had been keeping her stuck in a cycle of fear and dis-ease. She became more conscious of the foods she was eating, choosing those that supported vitality and energy rather than those that created inflammation and stress. She also began engaging in gentle movement, such as yoga and walking, to release physical tension and keep her body flexible and strong. One of the most important self-healing practices she integrated was mindfulness. She began to live each moment with full presence, letting go of distractions and focusing on the beauty of the present moment. This shift in focus allowed her to move from a state of survival into a state of thriving. She also worked on cultivating self-compassion, acknowledging the difficulties of her journey without self-criticism, and replacing negative self-talk with affirmations of love and healing. Each of these practices wasn't just about treating symptoms, it was about transforming her entire relationship with herself and her body. It was an active and conscious commitment to healing from the inside out. Through these practices, she wasn't just trying to get rid of her illness, she was creating the conditions for her body to heal, to rebalance, and to thrive. The concept of self-healing, once seen as a mystical or unscientific notion, has gained significant scientific validation in recent years. Research has begun to show that the mind and body are far more interconnected than we ever realized, and that the thoughts, emotions, and beliefs we carry can directly impact our health. Scientific studies have confirmed that practices like meditation, heart-brain coherence, and emotional release can trigger profound changes in the body, influencing everything from our immune response to our genetic expression. For her, knowing that her healing was supported by scientific evidence only reinforced her commitment to the process. It gave her the confidence to trust the changes she was experiencing and the strength to continue on her path. As she deepened her understanding of the science behind mind-body healing, she came to realize that she wasn't engaging in something far-fetched or whimsical. She was participating in a deeply grounded, scientifically backed process that was as real as any medical treatment. One of the key scientific discoveries that supported her journey was the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to change and rewire itself based on our experiences. For years, the prevailing belief in medicine was that the brain was static after a certain age. But new research has shown that our brain is constantly adapting, even in adulthood, in response to the thoughts we think and the behaviors we engage in. This means that by changing our mental patterns, we can literally rewire our brain to create new ways of thinking, feeling, and responding to the world around us. Studies on the heart-brain connection have revealed that the heart and brain are in constant communication, exchanging information that profoundly influences our health. When the heart and brain are in a state of coherence, as she experienced through practices like meditation and emotional release, it creates a physiological state that optimizes health. This includes lowering levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, improving immune function, and promoting a greater sense of well-being. Research on the effects of emotional processing and mindfulness has also shown that individuals who engage in these practices experience lower levels of inflammation, better mental clarity, and improved physical health. In fact, mindfulness practices have been found to alter gene expression, turning off genes that are associated with stress and disease, while turning on those related to healing and regeneration. These scientific breakthroughs have shed light on the very real power we have to influence our bodies through our thoughts and emotions. Her experience wasn't just anecdotal. It was in alignment with what science has begun to confirm, that healing isn't just a physical process. It's a holistic one that involves the mind, heart, and body working together in harmony. Transformation is not just about overcoming an illness or a challenge. It is about evolving into a version of yourself that is more aligned with your true essence, your highest potential. For her, healing was not merely a journey toward physical well-being. It was a profound transformation of who she was at the core. The illness that once held her captive became the catalyst for a complete rebirth, one that altered not only her body, but also her mind, emotions, and spirit. As she moved through the process of healing, she discovered that her illness wasn't something to fight against or resist. It was a powerful teacher. It showed her where she had been out of alignment with her true self, where her beliefs and emotions had been holding her back, and where she needed to grow. The act of healing became an act of self-discovery as she peeled back layers of fear, self-doubt, and unworthiness to reveal a deeper truth about who she really was. Through this transformation, she was able to reconnect with her innate strength and wisdom. She realized that she had always held the power to heal within her. She had simply forgotten how to access it. The journey of healing became a path of reclaiming her own power, a process of remembering that she was not defined by her illness, her past, or the stories others had told her. She was defined by her capacity to love, to evolve, and to become the fullest expression of herself. This transformation didn't just change her, it created a ripple effect that touched everyone around her. As she began to radiate health, love, and peace, she became an example of what was possible when we fully embrace our capacity for self-healing. Her journey inspired others to look within themselves for the answers they were seeking, and to trust in the body's innate ability to restore balance when given the right environment and mindset. Her legacy, though, extends far beyond the individual she directly impacted. It became a testament to the power of self-love, resilience, and the mind-body connection. It is a legacy that speaks to the truth that we are not victims of our circumstances, but powerful creators of our reality. Her journey proved that transformation is possible at any stage in life, and that healing can be an awakening, a return to wholeness that transcends any diagnosis or setback. As she continues to live out her life, her story serves as a beacon of hope for those facing their own struggles. It reminds us that the healing process is not linear, and that even in the darkest of times, there is a light within us waiting to guide the way. Her transformation is not just a personal victory. It is a collective inspiration, a call for all of us to recognize our own potential for greatness and healing, and to carry that legacy forward into the world.